Alright, welcome to Scompy's World. This is a video on my pumpkin plants in my greenhouse. This greenhouse is an open greenhouse. I have sunlight that comes into it. The most sun that comes in is on this first plant. This is a pumpkin plant growing right here, this first one. It's a very nice plant. Unfortunately, this plant's going to get some sunscreen. I'm not moving the plants or anything here, the pots that they're in, because I want the sun to be as strong. As we notice here, this first plant, the leaf on it is actually the biggest leaf of all the all the plants that are here. And I go through them so you can see them for comparison. So over in this last pot, there's two pumpkin plants growing. There's one back there, one here. This will be a control plant. Same with this plant is a control plant. There's a second one. There's two pumpkins growing out of that pot. This third one, there's even two pumpkins growing out of it. I don't know if you can see too well, but there's one on this side and then one on this side right there. And my fourth plant is just one plant coming out of here. Not sure what that is. I don't know if that's a bell pepper. I don't think so. I think it's just a weed. Actually, I'm going to just get rid of it right now because I really don't need it. So this plant here that's front of my greenhouse where the sunlight comes in, most of the UV light comes in through here. I'm probably getting some UV blockage of light through this plastic. So that's why I have this entire face open. You're looking at squash in these two. But really here is the experiment. This one beautiful, nice plant in front, that's the nicest pumpkin plant, unfortunately is going to get some sunscreen. And here's the sunscreen can. The stuff inside of it is just your standard issue titanium dioxide, zinc oxide in this. I'll just do a close up here so you can see better. So I've got some titanium dioxide, zinc oxide for regular blockage of the sun. And I'm going to spray this on the plant because, I mean, sunscreen's good, right? We need to use sunscreen on all animals. We need to use sunscreen on humans. We need to use sunscreen on plants because we know it's very important to block that bad sunlight, poor bad sunlight that we've been accustomed to for how many millions or eons of years. So here we go. I'm going to set the camera up so you can see what I'm doing. Alright. I'm gonna go, it's on a little tripod here. Gonna take, undoing the plastic at the top of this sunscreen. I'm gonna shake it a little bit to see if it's working. Actually, I haven't used sunscreen for over 10-15 years. I just bought this. As a matter of fact, I just bought this as the cheapest I could find at $6.99, which was a little bit, oh, there we go, a little bit discouraging. All right, there we go. I can spray it now. So here we go. I'm gonna try to keep the sunscreen. I'm gonna spray it this direction away from the other plants, and I'm just gonna coat, I just coated my hand. I'm gonna coat the leaf in the sunscreen, like so. I'm getting all 4 or 5 leaves here. You know, you gotta get the stem a little bit while we're at it. Alright. It has been coated with beautiful sunscreen. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna reapply the sunscreen as directed every day or so here. Make sure my plant gets enough sunscreen to protect it from the terrible UV light. Because after all, you know, the chlorophyll inside there is very similar to our hemoglobin, our heme groups. Just the only difference is the iron, you know, in our heme groups versus the chlorophyll in the middle of that is magnesium. If you look at any chemical compound comparison. So, what's unfortunate is this sunscreen is actually, the sunscreen is dripping off a little bit. So I started tonight. Of course, the sun's already pretty. It's about 6:30 at night. I'm gonna look up at the sky here. The sun is setting in the west over here. I'll reapply it tomorrow morning, probably around 7:38 in the morning when the sun's starting to come out. Make sure that our plant is very well protected against the sun, because after all, we need to make sure every organism on the planet is so protected by sunscreen. And we should see how this plant fares up to the other three across the way over time here. Hopefully our plant will survive pretty well. It doesn't need sunlight to grow because, as we know, sunlight is useless and it's just harmful. So we'll see how this works out. Thanks for watching.